To have this conversation today. I'm Gary Thomson, and I serve as a practice management consultant for CPA firms. In a few minutes, you're going to meet my colleague, Jessa Barnes with UDIG. This is the time of the year that I go around to CPA firms with partner meetings and strategic planning meetings. And in the top 3 points of discussion right now is creating capacity, Jessa. That's what everyone wants to talk about.
Yep.
And so, in that conversation, some very obvious things come up, such as, why don't we just go out and hire new people, whether they be remote or whether they be in person? What about outsourcing? Obviously, opportunities to find ways to improve processes, and the list goes on and on. The obvious one that I've left off the list that comes up for conversation a lot is, how do we better use technology? Now, many people who are listening to this that are kind of in my network, we often think about technology in terms such as intelligent automation, artificial intelligence, bot. We use those terms, but we really don't fully understand what they mean, and or we really don't believe they apply to our firm. So we think of, if we're a smaller firm, we think of these as being larger firm opportunities. If we're a middle-sized firm, we're really trying to figure out where we fit in. So the conversation today is really to try to help bring some clarity, maybe is a better word, to what this is all about. And I can think of no better organization than UDIG that Jessa represents to have this conversation. I've enjoyed learning from them, and I get to ask a lot of silly questions when I'm with her, Jessa and her colleagues, and hopefully today is an opportunity for us to ask questions that may seem silly to us, but make a lot of sense for you. So Jessa, thanks for joining me today. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization?
Thanks, Gary. Good morning. My name is Jessa Barnes. I am a principal consultant at UDIG. I've been there for a little over 4 years. My role is to co-lead our intelligent automation practice. My focus is on customer accounts, experience, and really just the process discovery of our intelligent automation practice. I have a colleague that also kind of focuses on the delivery. So between us, we really run this team. As far as UDIG, we are a 20-year-old company. We were founded in a little over 20 years. We were founded in 2001, primarily as a staffing company. And in 2015, we really made the transition to a project-based consulting company. We really wanted to focus on leaving our clients better, delivering, project-based things as well. We have offices in Richmond and Nashville, but the way the world's working these days, we're hiring consultants all over the country. We're not limiting ourselves to those areas, but that's where primarily our team's focused. Like I mentioned, we want to leave our clients better. So our services include, strategy, thinking with clients strategically to solve their business problems, and working collaboratively on how to solve them. Our solutions that we offer are software engineering, data, and then intelligent automation.
Well, you brought up a word at the end there, intelligent automation. So, on all of our meetings, we hear of the big 4 firms and how they're using bots and artificial intelligence to drive process improvements in many practice areas. And then you use the word intelligent automation. So why don't you define that word for us CPAs who we still think debits and credits. We're still thinking debits on the left, credits on the right. Now you're bringing all these new words. So maybe just bring that to life for us a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll define some of these words I'm going to throw out, but it's basically intelligent automation is combining some technologies. You have robotics process automation, intelligent document processing, machine learning, and artificial intelligence to make business processes more efficient by utilizing them. So defining some of those terms, robotics process automation is a software and a tool that's used to create the automation of the processes. That's the one that's really doing the work. Intelligent document processing is utilizing technology to read, identify, and extract data from documents. So really taking documents, which I'm sure CPA firms have lots of documents. Really using technology to extract data from them intelligently and do things with it. And then artificial intelligence and machine learning are algorithms that over time they learn as a process is being executed or changes are being made. So for example, reading invoices. The technology uses an algorithm to look for data in a document. A human has the opportunity to make corrections. It's kind of a partnership between the automation and a human. as they're making corrections, the algorithm gets smarter and smarter so that human intervention is less and less, and it takes away that repetitive task. But not all processes are good processes for automation. Ones that are right for automation are those that are repetitive, very manual, clear decisioning points, high volume, and then swivel chair operations. So copying and pasting data from A to B. You'll see a lot of time organizations that are utilizing legacy applications that haven't necessarily made that modernization switch will sometimes use automation, kind of bridge those gaps between one application to another, moving data, presenting data, or sometimes, they'll do it in lieu of a full modernization effort or new applications. They'll use automation.
You used a key word there, which is bridging, because I think having been in practice for 34 years and then being on the consulting side, most of us would say we have really good technology when we think about this process, that process, or that process, but the ability to bring them together and to make that useful information across all those technologies is where we're generally lacking.
Yeah.
So I know we've talked about my colleagues and my profession, the CPA profession. When you think about firms and what CPAs do for their clients, so we'll talk about it first maybe in the context of clients, and then we'll talk about how firms can use it within their own organizations. But how might CPA firms utilize intelligent automation in serving their clients?
Yeah, I think at a very basic level, any manual and repetitive tasks that you could do for your clients daily. And then, like I keep mentioning, the movement and extraction of data. I think at a very basic level, you could start there. Going specifically into CPA firms, the preparation of tax returns is a great example. Intelligent automation, utilizing intelligent document processing technology can scan those documents, identify and classify those documents, and extract data from them. And then from there, that data, intelligent automation can put that data into necessary forms, systems, applications that you might need, really easing the movement of that data instead of having someone manually do that. Another example, regulatory reporting and compliance. Again, data, you can consolidate data, create reports of data reviewed, validate and compare data. And you can even set up workflows within intelligent automation. So you can kind of route documents through an approval flow, or, it needs to go to Gary, then it needs to go to Jessa, then it goes to their manager. You can really set up that workflow and get approvals along the way. I think something that we've learned over just the last couple of years of doing this is our intelligent automation team and our data team. There's really good opportunity to work hand in hand. Intelligent automation is really good at grabbing the data and placing the data, and then obviously having your data team really doing stuff with that data and creating reports. Something else I came across while kind of looking into some examples for this video was book tax differences. So intelligent automation can collect that data. It can complete the calculation to identify the depreciation over X number of years, and then calculate the book tax difference. Gary was great you were great explaining to me what that was. But this data can then be added into financial statements or other reports as needed. Again, applications, software, websites, whatever you guys needed, it can do that.
It's fascinating about that. Although it was a long time ago, it seems like yesterday as a rookie in public accounting, a lot of the things that I did were repeatable, fairly ordinary type tasks that now technology can take care of.
Yep.
And particularly as you combine them through this bridging of intelligent automation, which means that the really smart young folks who are coming out of school who are already strong in technology, we can actually start them off at a different level in their career. So while it was important, at least for my bosses, to be able to see that I could do some basic stuff and get a pencil all over my white shirt, we now have the ability to automate a lot of that and allow our folks to have a more engaging, at least an initial start to their career.
Yeah.
So Jessa, I work with a lot of firms, and when we think about creating capacity, we just talked about it from the standpoint of what we do for our clients, but many of the leaders, CEOs, COOs, leadership teams, really are trying to run their firms better, to be able to get data in real time, to be able to get data that makes sense in some type of useful Judgment has been made on the data. Tell me how intelligent automation can help leaders run their practices better.
Yeah, definitely. I think something universal that's kind of common across all industries that we see with our clients is back office functions, onboarding, offboarding, doing payroll, invoicing, approving payments, routing emails, all that basic day-to-day kind of back office stuff. One UDIG's actually doing internally is a lot of taking bills for benefits that we're paying for employees, and intelligent automation is actually calculating and creating this upload file that we then use to put into our payroll system or our back office system. I think that's something that, while it seems so simple, I think it has saved our back office team so much time. And, doing Excel formulas isn't something people want to do all day. So I think, that's universal. Again, specific to CPA firms. I know, like I mentioned, lots of documents come in. So during tax season, you're getting in documents from different customers, someone's manually sorting them, reading them, stuff like that. You can set it up to classify documents by type, by client, or however the firm wants to, and can route it as appropriate. So as the email comes in, the intelligent automation can scan the document, say, oh, this looks like it's from John Doe, and John Doe's represented by Gary Thomson, and it knows to route it, or this is this form, so it should go to this person. So it's good at reading documents and doing that. I think something important with the documents is this technology has improved so much over the last few years, even. I know it will continue to evolve. So it's at the point too where even handwritten documents are getting there too. That's one that's evolving, but anything from perfectly scanned in documents to handwritten has the ability to go through this, which is incredible.
If it can read my handwriting, we'll call it miracle intelligent automation.
There might be some caveats to it, but some of it. And then dashboarding. This goes back to the collaboration I mentioned with intelligent automation and data. Data comes out of a practice management system or whatever system, and there's so much data and not everyone knows what to do with it. It could be messy. So combining those two practices can really help move the data, and then from there create reports and dashboards.
When this video goes out and managing partners hear what you just said, there could be this great shout for joy, because we have some really good practice management softwares, but they're generally speaking made for kind of a cookie cutter approach to what data, but yet each firm is different. The leverage that they have, the services, the number of offices, you name it. And one of the things that impressed me early on is in getting to know your organization is that you worked with a couple of clients who you had the ability to take their systems. They weren't just CPA firms, but take their systems and make sense out of it from a dashboarding standpoint. Yep. That's something that our industry has struggled with quite a bit.
Yeah. And something we're working on now too with some other clients is taking the data using intelligent automation and then creating real-time dashboards. So you're also getting that data, as it's happening as well, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah. So it just won't surprise you that CPAs are interested in money and a return on investment. To some listening to this are like, oh, wow, this sounds like a really big and expensive project, which for some, it could certainly be a comprehensive project. But maybe let's talk about ROI and what you see from some of your clients, how they measure success and what ROI looks like for them.
Yeah, I think definitely aside from, the money saving ROI that exists, I think with intelligent automation, we've seen that a lot of it is more than that. The biggest thing is the reallocation of humans. So while you might not necessarily be saving a ton of money, you're reallocating that money. You're not replacing human workers, you're just automating the tasks that humans find tedious or not challenging. And it's allowing them to focus on higher value add tasks for the organization. So when I say reallocation of money, you're just having them spend their time on something else that's more important. So in return, you're increasing employee satisfaction, which probably increases employee retention. They'll feel like their job has meaning and impact on the organization. This also, though, allows you to scale without necessarily having to hire new people to complete the task. We're working with someone that they want to scale, but they don't necessarily want to hire the amount of people it would take to then train them and invest in them to do the task. So having intelligent automation work with the humans is going to allow them to scale without having to make that investment. Also, processes that are automated typically are completed faster. It moves more quickly. And then automations, they don't take breaks, they don't take PTO, they work 24/7. I'm sure in CPA firms, you're getting documents at all times of day, holidays, weekends. There's no break with when someone wants to send in a document. So having an automation there to kind of catch those allows the process to move faster. Your life cycle from A to B on certain processes might be shorter because you have something there monitoring and kind of handling it. And then lastly, automated processes are less prone to error, since it's copying and pasting data, it's completing the steps it was programmed to do. I mean, with humans, it's inevitable that there is going to be some error. It's natural. Everyone's going to make mistakes. But with automation, you're eliminating that. And then you're able to just move the data that it sees and move it here. There's no fat fingering, stuff like that. Which is great, especially when it comes to people's money.
Sure.
People don't want their money messed with. So, having that kind of security is great.
Well, Jessa, I think a number of people listening to this today will go from having a lot of curiosity about it to really saying, well, maybe this is something that could work for an organization. Again, whether I'm small, big, or something in between. You've just articulated a number of very practical examples. And hopefully all of you who are listening have written a number of notes and replay this and think about it. By the way, if I realize that when this goes out, you'll probably see it somewhere in writing, but UDIG is simply the capital letter U and then capital letter D-I-G. So look them up, see what they do. Look for Jess. I know she would be glad to connect with you about it. But the purpose of this, again, was just to stimulate more conversation around a topic that we've all been curious about and how well it dovetails with this whole capacity issue. And just the way at the end there, where you talked about reallocation of human time as a really important conversation. I know for your business and for ours as well. Anything else as we wrap up, Jessa, that the group may find important?
No, I definitely appreciate the time. I think, educating people on automation is great because it's something that you really need to understand to see the full power. It seems scary at first, but once people start seeing it, it's the sky's the limit with them.
Well, I hope this has been beneficial to anyone who's listened to this. And for those of us in the CPA world, January 1st is just around the corner. I can't believe we've clicked to the second half of the year today. So there's a lot of opportunity for you between now and the next traditional busy season to be able to have some conversations with UDIG, to think about it internally. And hopefully this helps solve this conundrum around capacity, but also helps you think about the future of a firm and how we can serve our clients better and how we manage ourselves better. So thanks for taking the time to listen to us today.